Morning. Last week I apparently jumped the gun in my enthusiasm on the Massachusetts climate bill passed by the legislature as Governor Baker eventually vetoed that bill, with a sticking point being a few components, including one piece that would have allowed municipalities to update their building codes to require new construction to be net zero. The construction industry pushed back pretty hard on that, and so that didn't go anywhere. But we may see an override in the next session. So sorry for my high level of zeal there. New news, Equinor is planning to test an open ocean floating solar technology at a site in the North Sea. This is a 1 megawatt, 80 meter square project that'll go in this summer and be tested for a year. It's Equinor's third floating PV research project, where they have one in the open ocean in Sri Lanka and a lake-based project in the Netherlands. The main objective here is just what one might expect. Less about determining overall energy output and more about how weather will affect the plant. Their head of wind and solar power technology was quoted as saying, "If we succeed here, we can succeed anywhere." I'm not going to disagree with that. Technical advisory group DNV estimates the dammed inland reservoirs alone across the planet could support up to 4 terawatts of new power capacity. So floating solar could be a really big deal, both on reservoirs and maybe even offshore. Switching to France, Total and Engie are committed to designing, developing, and building and operating the Marseillais project in France, its largest renewable hydrogen project to date. This would be a 40 megawatt electrolyzer powered by 100 megawatts of PV solar. The objective, to produce 5 tons of green hydrogen daily to meet the needs of the biofuel production process at Total's La Mede biorefinery. Hope I pronounced that right. The big challenge here is going to be addressing solar's intermittent production profile with the steady needs and continuous supply of H2. Going to be a whole lot of learning going on that one. Equinor, on this side of the ocean, just won a big bid with New York State for offshore wind and one of the biggest U.S. renewable energy procurements to date. Equinor and its new strategic partner BP will develop 1,260 megawatts from Empire Wind 2, another 1,230 megawatts of power from Beacon Wind 1, and then that's on top of an existing 816 megawatt deal, Empire Wind 1, they already won. So this award now is still subject to successful negotiation for a purchase and sale agreement. And as part of this award, Equinor and BP have committed to work with the state to transform 2 ports, the South Brooklyn Marine Terminal and the Port of Albany. Both of these would be now facilities capable of supporting the offshore wind industry, which means they have to be reinforced to deal with huge amounts of mass, essentially. We saw $100 million put into the New Bedford port here in Massachusetts, again, to support that level of heavy industry and weights. And finally, the last story of the week, and perhaps most interesting, the Kauai Island Utility Co-op has signed with AES to develop a 35 megawatt PV system joined with 240 megawatt hours of pumped hydro energy storage. That gets the island's total share of renewables to over 80%, up from about 55% by the end of 2019. This shows what a single balancing authority, if you want to call them that, can actually do with commitments and the right resource mix. Up until now, they had a little bit of biofuels, bit of hydroelectric, a whole lot of solar with 4 hours of batteries that was getting them to that 55% range. Now, though, with this pumped hydro, they can extend the storage capabilities way into the evening. So once again, Kauai is pushing the envelope, providing that solar pumped hydro storage postcard from the future for the rest of us to look at and watch as they move past 80%. And for those of you who may be interested, I just put my on-demand online 4-hour courses on the evolution of the power grid and batteries on my website at peterkellydetweiler.com. Thanks.